Ready for another deep dive? We got some really cool stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
It is. It is. Our listeners sent us a bunch of material about this new open source AI agent. It's called Goose.
Goose, huh?
Goose.
Okay.
And, well, it's making waves in the developer community, so we wanted to break it down and see what all the excitement's about.
Yeah, for sure.
So imagine having, like, your own personal coding assistant, but, like, way more than just an assistant.
Oh.
Like, this thing can actually handle those tedious tasks that, we all kind of dread as developers.
Oh, I think I'm starting to get it. Like, it frees you up for, the more creative and fun parts of coding.
Exactly. And the really cool thing.
Yeah.
It's all on machine.
On machine. So wait, that means it runs locally on my computer?
Yep. So no need to rely on cloud services or anything like that.
Interesting. So I'm guessing that's a big plus for privacy and security.
Huge.
Yeah.
You have complete control over your data. But there's another layer to this that's, well, it's kind of a game changer. Let's hear it. Goose is open source.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, so developers are already jumping in, customizing it. They're finding some pretty amazing uses that go way beyond just, everyday coding tasks.
So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How does this Goose thing actually work?
All right, so at its core, Goose is an AI agent.
Okay, so not just a fancy code editor or something.
Nope, it's much more than that. You give it instructions, it understands them, and then it executes those tasks for you.
Sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, the secret sauce is it's powered by these things called large language models, or LLMs for short.
LLMs, got it. But isn't that what, all these AI assistants use?
Yeah, but here's the twist. Goose lets you choose which LLM you want to use.
Oh, okay, that's different. I see how that could be super powerful. So, if I need some serious horsepower for a complex task, I can pick a really powerful LLM.
Exactly. But if you're working on something, more lightweight, you can choose a smaller, faster LLM. It's all about flexibility.
I like it. So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You can tailor it to your specific needs.
Right. And the way it interacts with different tools and services is pretty ingenious. They use this thing called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
MCP. Okay, you're losing me a little bit here.
Think of MCP as a universal translator for Goose. It allows Goose to talk to other applications seamlessly. Things like pulling data from a database or running tests in your development environment.
Ooh, I'm starting to see the potential here. So it can do more than just spit out code. It can actually interact with my whole workflow.
Precisely. And that's just the beginning. Remember, it's open source. People are coming up with new ways to use Goose all the time.
So what are some real-world examples of how Goose is being used? I mean, beyond just, helping with coding, you said.
Oh, yeah. It's getting used for some pretty amazing things. For instance, researchers are using Goose to automate literature reviews. Like sifting through tons of scientific papers to find the most relevant information.
Wow, that could save a ton of time and effort, especially in fields where there's an overwhelming amount of research being published all the time.
It's not just saving time.
Yeah.
It's potentially speeding up the pace of scientific discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this example I saw where a developer used Goose to migrate an entire project from Ember to React.
Whoa, that's a serious code migration. I wouldn't want to do that manually.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. But Goose was able to analyze the code base, figure out all the dependencies and complexities, and then suggest the most efficient migration path.
Impressive. I can see how something like that could save weeks, maybe even months of work.
And it's not just about big projects. Some developers are using Goose for things like performance benchmarking. You can automatically run tests, collect data, and even suggest optimizations based on the results.
That's awesome. Anything that can help me squeeze more performance out of my code is a win in my book. What about things like generating unit tests? Is Goose capable of that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's a huge time saver. It can even generate API scaffolding, which is the initial setup for building the backbone of your application.
So we've talked about a lot of use cases. What are some of the key features that make Goose so versatile?
Well, we've already mentioned the LLMs and the MCP, but there's a lot more to it. The extensibility is really impressive.
Extensibility. What does that mean in this context?
Basically, it means you can connect Goose to all sorts of other tools and services. Think about integrating it with your GitHub repository or your Google Drive. Some developers are even hooking it up to their IDEs like JetBrains.
Wow, so the possibilities are pretty much endless. It's like you can customize Goose to fit into your existing workflow seamlessly.
Exactly. And the fact that you can choose your LLM is a huge advantage, too. It's not just about power. It's about finding the right tool for the job.
Right, like a specialized toolbox. You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a screw.
Exactly. And speaking of tools, Goose offers both a desktop application and a command line interface, so you can use it however you're most comfortable.
And your configurations stay consistent across both. That's great. No need to set things up twice.
And let's not forget about the importance of local execution. With all the data privacy concerns these days, running Goose on your own machine gives you peace of mind.
Absolutely. It's your data. You should be in control of it. And the fact that it's open source means the community is constantly improving it.
Exactly. So if you're even remotely curious about the future of work and how AI might play a role, Goose is definitely worth checking out.
It's more than just about automating tasks. It's about having a more intuitive and collaborative relationship with our tools.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next groundbreaking application for Goose. It's all out there, just waiting to be discovered.
It's a pretty exciting time to be a developer, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but we encourage you to explore Goose further on your own. There's a whole world of possibilities out there.
And let us know what you find. We're always on the lookout for cool new developments in the world of AI.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See ya.